He trained for 300 years as a sword saint, preparing for his ascension. He opened his eyes and found himself in a girl's dormitory, wearing a high school uniform. Even stranger, in this world, he seems to be claimed as a possession by a domineering stranger. And his sister has just been kidnapped by the local mob boss. All right, let's set the stage for this wild ride. Our guy was a 300-year-old sword god, a legend. He blinks awake, expecting celestial clouds or maybe the awe of immortals, but nope. He's stark naked in a strange bed, and a stunning, predatory woman is leaning right into his personal space. His first instinct? Get the hell out of there. While scrambling, the real kicker hits him. This isn't just a new body. This is his body from when he was 17. Reincarnation tropes? Sure. But being reborn into a world where women rule and men are expected to be less? That's a whole new level of difficulty unlocked. As his mind reels, fragments of his past life slam into him. Let's flash back to the sword god's greatest moment. This wasn't just cultivation. This was snatching power from heaven itself. 9 layers of devastating heavenly tribulation tried to erase him. And his response? Pointing his sword at the sky and charging straight into it. The scale, the sheer epicness is off the charts. He was as close to breaking through to the final realm, to eternity itself, when fate threw a curveball. Not an enemy's betrayal, but a mysterious temporal vortex. 300 years of ascetic pursuit, the peak of glory, traded for a time travel ticket back to being a 17-year-old in a topsy-turvy world. That's fate for you. Unpredictable and brutally creative. Fast forward to the present. Chu Qing is trying to live a normal student life, but peace was never an option. Look at this scene. Hua Hua, his gentle-hearted friend, is being clung to by her deadbeat dad, pure terror in her eyes. And across from them, a slick, smirking man lounges like he owns the place. He throws out an offer that's all kinds of wrong. $3 million. To sign this document, severing your ties with your daughter. Selling your own flesh and blood? Even scumbags would call this low. The tension in the room skyrockets. This isn't about money anymore. It's about grinding the last shreds of dignity and family into the dust. The father, buckling under pressure, signs the document and screams for the money. The sleazy man just smirks. No rush, he says, a sinister glint in his eye. Let me show you something. Then, everything changes. Juking movet, but it's not a punch. He simply reaches out, and boom, a vortex of pitch-black flame erupts in his palm. The air warps, heat radiates, and the loan shark's smug expression shatters into pure terror. One moment, a helpless student. The next, a demon lord commanding hellfire. The power scale just got completely reset. The loan shark is practically wetting himself. Why you know magic? Chu Qing doesn't even bother looking at him. The black flame in his hand lashes out like a whip, cracking against the man's face. Blood sprays, screams echo. All the bluster is gone, replaced by raw pain and fear. Chu Qing steps forward, and his gaze is colder than ice. The money will be in your account, he says, voice low and deadly. But let me be clear. Dream about bothering Hua Hua again, and I'll make you disappear. Permanently. Without a trace. This isn't a threat, it's a promise. The scene shifts from righteous fury to absolute dominance, capped by a man's unwavering vow. Pure, un adulterante dipe. Is this still a home? Hua Hua's father is pinned against the wall, bruised and battered, being forced to sign away his own daughter just to clear a shameful $5 million debt. They target a man's weakness in this world and treat his daughter as his only asset. Pathetic. Then Chu Qing arrives. No preamble, just a look and a promise. I'll pay the $5 million. Let him go. His sheer presence silences the thugs. The once bully creditor shrinks away in an instant. This is a lesson in overpowering presence. A reborn sword god's word is the ultimate currency. With his back turned, he simply carries the crisis away. With the danger gone, only the shock and relief remain. Hua Hua collapses into his arms, her fear and despair melting into hot tears and the sound of her thundering heart. Chu Qing gently wipes her tears. Don't worry, it's just spare change to me, he says softly. From violent debt collection to heart-fluttering rescue, this legendary 300-year-old knows exactly how to soothe the girl. The transition is pure cinematic gold. And doesn't end there. The romance of the night spills into the morning. Hua Hua wakes up early, ready with a mysterious good surprise. Seeing Chu Qing's disbelief, she puts a finger to her lips, teasing. Just look at this atmosphere, guys. It's clear. Our sword god, Chu Qing's romantic fortune, has been completely reversed in this upside-down world. Cut. A change of pace. It's Christmas Eve, and Chu Qing is blissfully unaware that he's become the most sought-after gift of the night. A whole roster of Christmas ladies are practically at each other's throats over who gets him. Ye Chenki, Dang Dian, Hua Hua. Calm down, folks. It's the season of peace, and our hero already has a plan to survive this festive battlefield. Brothers, this opening is wild. Chu Qing storms into the street in a bathrobe, bawling his eyes out with pure relief after 300 years of wandering. But in the next second, his mind shatters. The world has gone completely insane. He sees women on the street acting like alpha bosses, coddling fragile-looking men who whine and blush. He spins around. Construction sites are run entirely by female workers. Female cops patrol the streets. Female drivers command the big rigs. In an instant, Chu Qing realizes the whole society has been turned inside out. His entire worldview just got absolutely demolished. With his worldview in pieces, pure survival instinct drives him into a library. The moment he cracks open the history books, it all clicks. A prehistoric cataclysm rewired humanity's destiny, turning women into physical and intellectual powerhouses who took over the world. This matriarchal hierarchy isn't an anomaly. It's the bloody, established law of the land. Now that he knows the brutal truth, only one thought consumes him. My family. What about my old man? My mom? My sister? Have they changed too? Panic seizes him. Fueled by pure dread, he bolts from the library and sprints towards home. Fast forward to a chaotic Christmas. The stage is set for a battle royale. 3 gorgeous women in spicy holiday outfits are ready to throw down over who gets to spend Christmas Eve with Chu Qing. You think you win just because you have bigger assets? Well, you're not exactly runway material. Just as the claws are about to come out, our 300-year-old veteran smirks and drops the hammer. Fight? Unnecessary. You're all staying with me tonight. Holy moly, the man is a master of balance. Shock, squeals, and reluctant acceptance follow. In the scene that follows, let's just say the Christmas spirit is felt by everyone under that tree. I hate you. Sure you do. That's definitely not a blush. The post-Christmas glow-up is real. Waking up the next morning, our girl Hua Hua is a whole new woman, impossibly sweet and attentive, with a full breakfast spread ready. She gazes up at Chu Qing and whispers earnestly, I don't want to lose you. It's a punch to the heart, equal parts touching and unnerving. Chu Qing gently pinches her cheek, assuring her, just be yourself. Who in their right mind would leave a cute and legal girl like you? Buoyed by his words, Hua Hua's motivation goes into overdrive, leaving poor Chu Qing groaning in pain, his back protesting the romantic workout. Ah, the blissful agony of this sweet burden. Back to the school grind, and the plot keeps thickening. A message pops up from his bro Lin Dong. The 5 million Chu Qing lent him solved a massive crisis, and Lin's practically worshipping the ground Chu Qing walks on. Cue the tonal shift. Next message flashes. It's from basketball queen Tang Xian, and her order is short and sweet. Come to the basketball club after class. Seeing her name, Chu Qing's eyes instantly sharpen, a grin tugging irresistibly at his lips. He shoulders his bag and stares down the school path. Looks like a brand new kind of game is about to begin. Home should be a safe haven. But what Chu Qing returned to was more like an inquisition. In the living room, his father, a typical homemaker in this female-dominated world, was tidying up. This should have been a warm scene, but when the father turned and caught a faint whiff of perfume on his son, the air froze solid. It wasn't a father's concern, it was sheer panic. Staying out all night? Smelling like a woman? In his father's eyes, that was like waltzing into the wolf's den. What followed was the most bizarre lecture in this twisted world. Boys must protect themselves. Don't be fooled by those bad women out there, complete with grim news about male victims. Listening to this, the once powerful sword immortal could only feel the weight of absurdity. Just as he'd figured out why the world flipped on its head, he found himself trapped in another, suffocating set of rules back home. Once feelings break the dam, there's no holding back. In a quiet corner of the library, Tang Xian's confession landed with a directness that threw even this ancient sword immortal for a loop. I think I've really fallen in love with you. Hearing that, Chu Qing's first, utterly bewildered thought was, does that mean you didn't like me before? My guy, what kind of reaction is that? The girl is pouring her heart out, and you're out here dissecting semantics? Tang Xian couldn't help but laugh. Before, I just found you interesting, but now, she didn't even need to finish. The mood was set. In the next moment, their silhouettes overlapped in the light. A sudden, yet utterly inevitable kiss. Pink halos, exploding heart effects. This wasn't the cold, hardened aura of a sword immortal. This was a full-blown campus romance fantasy. Look at those abstract red hearts shooting everywhere in the background. That's the real state of Chu Qing's mind right now. Outwardly calm, inner world a fireworks display. Sweet romance? Think again. The flip side of a campus fling is always jealousy and conflict. For every kiss, there's someone watching with gritted teeth. A blonde dude, eyes practically spitting fire, his face a mask of pure, murderous envy. It's all your fault. You have a fan club, and they can't stand seeing us together. He channeled all that rage into the basketball, sending it rocketing like a cannonball straight at the back of Tang Xian's head. This was a violent, intentional strike meant to hurt. Conflict, level up. 1 second, it's all hearts and flowers. The next, it's an assault on the court. Look at Chu Qing's expression. He hasn't moved yet, but his eyes have gone cold. In a world where men are seen as weak, what does a provoked 300-year-old warrior with battle instincts do? Trouble. This is absolutely the next explosive moment. The court drama was shut down by a single furious roar from Tang Xian. 50 laps for the three of you. Total alpha energy. But Chu Qing's troubles ran much deeper. As night fell and city lights replaced the court's noise, a real storm was just beginning. In his study, with his head buried in homework, a figure appeared silently behind him. Not the gentle Hua Hua, nor the domineering Yi Chenxi, but his mother. A single, probing mom, signaled the start of a family inquisition. Her tone was calm, but carried unshakable authority. Family matters, the complicated women in his life, the inexplicable changes about him. It was all about to be laid bare on the table. In this female-led household, his mother's questioning wasn't just concern, it felt more like a high-level debrief. From the oppressive rules of a topsy-turvy world, to the sweet sting of campus romance, to the serious scrutiny within his own family. Chu Qing's rebirth journey has him walking a tightrope every step of the way. He wants to shatter men's limitations and forge his own path. He'll have to get past the head of his household first. Just when Chu Qing thought he could breathe easy after dealing with the gang and rescuing his sister, the real family drama was just beginning. Opening his sister Chu Zhao's door, wow. His aspiring internet star sister was putting on a show for the camera. A 300-year-old immortal was totally out of his depth, cringing so hard he could have dug a mansion with his toes. The dinner table turned into a war zone. Chu Xiao demanded money for her big business venture. Dad immediately blew a fuse, hitting her with the ultimate comparison. Why can't you be more like your brother? That was the last straw. Chu Xiao exploded, vowed to make it on her own, and stormed out. See, in this remix world, even family drama has a whole new level of spice. After the night's chaos, a bit of peace finally settled. The next morning, his best buddy Hua Hua transformed into a total caretaker, making him a loving breakfast. The concern was written all over his face. Please don't leave me behind. At school, life seemed sweet. News of a debt repaid, an invite to a basketball club gathering. It was all smooth sailing. But calm always comes before the storm. On the basketball court, the guy's skills were not great. Then, surprise, a girl with purple hair made her move. The eye contact, the tension, BM. They kissed right then and there. Look at that guy watching them, green with envy, his jealousy hitting hard. But the sweetness of young love was about to be shattered by the real thunder waiting at home. The dinner table became a negotiation table. Mom cut straight to the chase. Is there a girl you like? From a powerful family, right? The moment Chu Qing admitted it, the bombshell dropped. Our Chu family is a mess inside. Your grandma married 5 husbands, aunts and uncles everywhere. Now the family has arranged a marriage for you. Your fiancée is Yi Chenxi, the young mistress of the Yi family. It's all about using the Yi family's power to stabilize our own. Want to survive? Want freedom? There's only one path. Get into the National University. It's an entity so powerful, even our entire Chu family dares not challenge it. The moment the door opens, the 300-year-old sword god has his worldview shattered on the spot. His mother waltzes in and immediately plants one on his meek father. Chu Qing can only stare, the very sight of this female-led domestic bliss turning his stomach with visceral disgust. He retreats to his room, vowing to seal himself inside. Is this what his new life is supposed to be? And just when he thinks it can't get worse, the ultimate affront arrives. His mother slaps down a massive wad of cash for his allowance, sighing about how his sister is a disappointment and he's the family's only hope. Staring at the easy money and his doting, dependent father, a wave of revulsion hits Chu Qing. In this world, is a man's worth nothing more than a well-funded accessory? The path forward has never felt so murky. Avoidance is a temporary luxury. Family secrets, once revealed, hit like a tidal wave. Chu Qing learns of his grandmother's sprawling harem of husbands, and worse, He himself is the prize in a prearranged marriage to the Yi family. His only escape route? Get into the elite state university, an institution even his own powerful family fears. The noose tightens, but a perilous path of defiance flickers into view. In the dead of night, his 300 years of cultivation core screams a warning. Meditating, Chu Qing jolts awake. His spirit's sword is changing, corroding on its own. A death sentence looms. If the sword fails, his very foundation will crumble. He must find the specific material to forge its sheath, and fast. At this critical juncture, his phone rings. It's Jia Yu, urging him to the Shenzhen auction, the very place that might hold the key to his survival. The clock is ticking, and just like that, the chance slips through his fingers. Chu Qing awakens not to enlightenment, but to the cold horror of realization. The auction is over. Jia Yu's furious voice blasts through the phone, each word a lash of blame. Staring at the cascade of missed calls and urgent messages on his screen, Chu Qing is numb. In a moment of exhaustion, he slept through the one event that could save his life. The lifeline is gone. Chu Qing's mother handed him a thick wad of pocket money, her eyes full of disappointment towards his rebellious sister, Chu Xiao. All her hopes were now pinned on this outstanding son, expecting him to depend on a good woman for a stable future. Watching his parents' seemingly affectionate but inherently dependent dynamic, Chu Qing held the easily obtained cash, feeling only disgust. This world's rules made him sick to his stomach. Back in his pink, doll-filled girly room, Chu Qing felt utterly out of place. Opening a drawer to look for something, he was nearly buried by an avalanche of letters. Love letters. It turned out, with his handsome teenage face, he was the school's worshipped heartthrob. But this brought no joy, only a chilling realization. In this topsy-turvy world, good looks were just another commodity. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, only to be stunned. The spiritual energy here was even purer and denser than in the immortal realm. A faint smile finally touched his lips. Power was the only key to shatter it all. Late at night, the warnings from a family elder still echoed. Complex clan politics and an arranged marriage with the Yi family hung over him like invisible shackles. The only escape? Getting into the National University, an institution even the Chu family dared not provoke. Seated in meditation, Chu Qing felt the clash between his 300-year sword god memories and his 17-year-old body. Peering inward, he was shocked to discover his core spiritual sword within his dantian was autonomously absorbing this world's energy, undergoing a bizarre transformation. Repairing and strengthening, it urgently required a rare spiritual material. Just then, his phone rang. It was Jia Yu from the auction house, urging him to attend the Shenzhen auction. But he, lost in cultivation, had fallen fast asleep. The auction house buzzed with glamour and hidden undercurrents. Jia Yu pulled Chu Qing aside, his expression graver than ever. He dropped a bombshell. Chu Qinghe, Chu Qing's aunt in the imperial capital, had been attacked, losing a leg and a kidney. The imperial Chu family had sent someone to buy this information, but Jia Yu intercepted it. Someone wants you to die in the dark. Jia Yu's words plunged the atmosphere below freezing. Yet, within the crisis lay a sliver of hope. Among tonight's auction items was precisely the spiritual material Chu Qing desperately sought. Night fell in a luxurious suite provided by the auction house, the atmosphere turning Weimao and perilous. Yi Chenxi approached with a bottle of wine, her eyes like a predator locking onto its prey, attempting to breach Chu Qing's defenses with alcohol. The air thickened with ambiguous tension and probing. On one side, the bloody warning of a familial conspiracy. On the other, the seductive trap laid by a domineering young mistress. Standing at the eye of a power storm, Chu Qing remained acutely aware that every step forward could plunge him into an abyss. All right, let's rewind to the very beginning. 17-year-old Chu Qing was deep in his late-night cultivation when a phone call nearly disrupted his flow. It was Chu Xiao. All he could hear was his sister's terrified screams on the other end, mixed with unfamiliar, menacing shouts. In that instant, Chu Qing knew that troublesome sister of his had really done it this time. Then, the call was snatched away. A cold, distinctly female voice slithered through the line. She gave him an address and a deadline. Crescendo Bar, room 302. She even knew about the black bag under his bed. The price was Chu Xiao's safety. When the call ended, the air turned to ice. The 300-year-old sword god from the immortal realm, now trapped in a 17-year-old body, had eyes colder than the abyss. His family was his absolute bottom line in this second life. And tonight, someone had just crossed it. They were dead. Cut forward. Our main character hasn't been idle since that crisis. This high-end auction is a key piece in his power play. On the surface, it's Yi Chenxi parading her boyfriend around, enduring her mother Aunt Ye's veiled concern. But behind the scenes, the information broker Jia Yu had already sent a message through Aunt Yi. Chu Qing, that accident involving your Aunt Chu Qing years ago, it was an attack. She lost a leg and a kidney. Even more alarming, Jia Yu used his own considerable influence to suppress this information. What does this mean? It means whoever is targeting you and your family has terrifyingly deep connections. Jia Yu, ever the shrewd operator, showed goodwill while dangling the bait. In a private meeting, he revealed the crown jewel of this auction, 5 spiritual stones. These are precisely what Chu Qing needs to recover his cultivation and shatter this world's ridiculous power ceiling. While the surface shows a picture-perfect couple, Chu Qing and Yi Chenxi, walking hand in hand to their lavish suite, a storm aimed at the heart of the upper echelons has just been set into motion by Chu Qing himself. Back in the room, the atmosphere shifted instantly. The mastermind, Chu Qing from moments ago, was now caught off guard by the young Mistress Yi. His attempt at being considerate with a milk tea? In this female-dominant world, it was practically an insult to a strong woman. Facing Yi Chenxi's dangerously amused gaze, it hit him. Oh no, women here, especially someone like Yi Chenxi, drink spirits. Seizing the moment, Yi Chenxi launched a counterattack. You don't like seeing women drink? Then for you, I can stop. This wasn't a question. It was putting both Chu Qing's pride and the rules of this world on a skewer over the fire. On one side, the ever-tightening web of family conspiracies and unsolved vendettas. On the other, this dangerously tangled, unresolved tension. Every step on the sword god's path of rebirth is a dance on the edge of a blade. The call came out of nowhere. A stranger on the line threatened his sister unless he delivered a package. The moment the phone went silent, the 300-year-old swordsman was gone, replaced by a teenager with murderous resolve. He was storming out the door, heading straight for a confrontation. Little did they know, trouble wasn't just waiting for him. Trouble was about to meet its match. He arrived at the bar, called Crescendo. Across from him sat the queen of the underworld, Yi Chenxi, her blue hair shimmering. My sister. Now, Chu Qing demanded, tossing the bag. She opened it, and her expression shifted, not contraband but cash. A slow, dangerous smile spread across her face. Releasing his sister wasn't a favor. It meant the real target of this power play had switched to him. The crisis just got infinitely more personal. Time had passed, and Chu Qing was no longer an easy mark for anyone. He entered a secret auction, a gathering place for power and shadows. Jia Yu, the information broker, approached with earth-shattering news. Chu Qing's aunt had been attacked and maimed in the past. Someone was targeting his family from the shadows. By intercepting this intel, Jia Yu was making a clear play, pulling him into a game much bigger than a single auction. In a private suite, danger wore a tempting face. Yi Chenxi had Chu Qing all to herself. Fine wine, heady perfume, and a predatory, unwavering gaze. She was determined to break his composure. Then, she played her ultimate card, a maid outfit and bunny ears. You said you liked this last time, remember? She teased. The atmosphere crackled with tension. 3 centuries of calm focus were being tested by a modern-day seductress. The moment was there, teetering on the edge. Yi Chenxi was in his lap, a whirlwind of temptation. Chu Qing's inner monologue was a disaster. She's too tempting. I can't. No, I must resist. Just as the point of no return seemed inevitable. Bam! Jia Yu burst into the room, phone in hand, jaw on the floor. Chu Qing. I found. Their eyes met. The air in the room froze solid, plunging from a sultry paradise straight into a monumentally awkward abyss. Chu Qing charges into the lion's den alone. The black bag full of cash lands right at the feet of Yi Chenxi, the bar's boss. A simple hostage swap? Think again. When Yi Chenxi opens the bag, she explodes with rage. This is the exact cash that was stolen from her. Now, Chu Xiao is officially the prime suspect. Yi Chenxi's icy gaze shifts to Chu Qing. New deal. The sister can walk, but you, handsome, are staying here with me. Not a chance. Seeing her brother about to be taken, Chu Xiao desperately offers herself as a replacement. But the reincarnated sword god of 3 centuries isn't fazed. Chu Qing shields his sister, his gaze sharp as a blade. As the goons rush in, it's time for a lesson in humility. The very next moment, the entire bar goes silent. Those fierce goons are sent flying before they can even touch Chu Qing's clothes. Their fancy moves are nothing but jokes in front of the real deal. All it takes is a few effortless strikes, too fast to follow. The goons are down, and Yi Chenxi's smug expression cracks for the first time. A weak man? A delicate flower? This is a lion, awakened and roaring. Fast forward to later. The tangled relationship between Chu Qing and the domineering Yi Chensi continues. Chensi, draped in a black dress, pulls out a maid uniform and cat ears. She's playing for keeps, pushing all the old-fashioned buttons of our 3-century-old sword god, leaving him utterly flustered and blushing. Just as the tension hits its peak, bam! The door swings open. Jiayu from the auction house barges in like a ghost, apologizing for interrupting with business matters. Seriously, peak awkwardness. Jiayu quickly pulls out the auction catalog to change the subject. Chu Qing's interest is waning. Neither meteors nor rare materials are what he truly needs. But then, a simple photo of a bronze wine vessel freezes him solid. It's not the ancient wine inside that matters. It's the material of the vessel itself that makes his soul quake and his spiritual power roar in resonance. This isn't just an antique. This is the legendary material he's been searching for. Flashback to that nerve-wracking night when Chu Qing was about to escape with his sister. A mafia minion's gun barrel was a heartbeat away from spraying blood. The air grew still just before it shattered. A figure emerged, a deadly elegance in every click of her heels. Yi Chensi, cloaked in crimson silk, froze the entire room with a single glance. She wasn't just taking over, she was claiming ownership. After dealing with the inept minions, her gaze landed on Chu Qing. It wasn't gratitude, it was pure predatory interest. Back to the present, Yi Chensi's hospitality was reaching new, absurd heights. French-made outfits? Bunny ears? She was treating him like a dress-up doll for her private amusement. The tension was boiling over, until their information broker, Jiayu, crashed the party like a bull in a china shop. The distraction was unwelcome, but the auction catalog he brought made Chu Qing's heart stop. It wasn't a catalog, it was a photo of an ordinary-looking bronze tripod. Yet, Chu Qing's 300-year-old soul screamed in recognition. This wasn't a relic for auction. This was the legendary spirit material he needed to rebuild his draconic soul core. The pull was stronger than finding his reincarnated lover. Now what could make a former sword god lose his cool like that? The auction was a powder keg. The opening act? The prized Tang family elixir formula, driven to a staggering 100 million by a bidder named Tang Zian. Chu Qing knew instantly that was Tang Zian's distress signal. He turned to the moody Yi Chensi, shattering her illusions. Your ship is sinking, and the agents you sent? Your own mother had them silenced. With that, the brutal reality of their mother-daughter power struggle was laid bare. Chu Qing, now richer from his own deals, cornered Jiayu about the bronze tripod, only to hit an information blockade. The savvy broker was left baffled. This kid didn't care about the priceless wine inside. He wanted the crude pot itself. Now why? Talk about a mood shift. The tension went from flirtatious to frozen in an instant. Our reborn sword god, Chu Qing, drops the ultimate bombshell on the flirty Yi family heiress, Yi Chensi. The people you sent to investigate, your mother had them all eliminated. Boom! Watch her smug confidence shatter into pure, unadulterated shock. Welcome to the real Game of Thrones, princess. Your family secrets are way darker than your little power plays. Cornered and emotionally exposed, Yi Chensi cracks. But in typical wildcard fashion, she deflects with a pout, calling him uncute for talking like an old man. Chu Qing's response? Absolute fire. You think I want to care? I just don't want my woman to die without knowing why and leave me to plan her funeral and get revenge. It's a threat, a declaration, and the rawest truth all in one. The shift is hilarious. Her anger melts into a blush. She starts touching his chest, and Chu Qing is left flustered and fuming. He shouts he'll ignore her, but we all see it. He's toast. She locks him in an embrace and claims victory. Game, set, match to the force of nature that is Yi Chensi. After dealing with the human hurricane, Chu Qing gets down to business at the auction house. 5 artifacts sold, a cool 5 million in revenue, 3 million in profit after commission. Talk about using ancient knowledge to print modern money. But his mind isn't on the cash. It's on the mysterious bronze cauldron, Jiang. He cuts to the chase with the auctioneer, Jiayu. Who ended up buying it? Jiayu's professional smile is firmly in place. But his answer is a brick wall. I know, but I can't say. Auction rules. So, Chu Qing made a fortune, but may have lost the one thing that truly mattered to him. Just when you think the dead end is final, Chu Qing flips the script. He stops pretending and lays it bare. My interest isn't in the wine, it's in the bronze vessel itself. Cue the record scratch. Now it's Jiayu's turn to be shocked. He thought he had this high schooler figured out, but Chu Qing was fixated on the worthless pot he dismissed. Their eyes both flash with golden light, a silent, electric standoff. In that moment, Xiaoyu realizes the terrifying truth. This kid operates on a level far beyond his understanding. What is that cauldron really? The mystery just got 1,000 times more dangerous. Can you believe this? A reborn sword god from the immortal realm, settling a lifetime contract with a simple arm wrestle? Yi Chenxi publicly declares she'll be adding Chu Qing as boyfriend number 36. It's a blatant humiliation. With a smirk born of 3 centuries of experience, Chu Qing dismisses this childish power play. Yi Chenxi can't handle the pushback. She slams the table. Fine. If you're all talk, prove it with your arm. A bet is made, instantly electrifying the whole bar. If Chu Qing wins, she backs off forever. If she wins, he's hers. Everyone expects the young man to lose, but he just calmly places his arm on the table. Challenge accepted. The hands lock. Battle begins. Yi Chenxi, a top-tier female martial artist in this world, erupts with overwhelming force from the first second. Chu Qing's arm is slammed towards the table. Mocking laughter echoes around. Internally, he's shocked. The physical power in this world's women is on another level, but a being from the immortal realm doesn't scare easily. Just as Yi Chenxi thinks victory is hers, a frigid, primordial power stirs deep within Chu Qing. Not muscle, it's spiritual energy. The pressure on their wrists instantly reverses course. Thud. Yi Chenxi's hand is slammed flat against the table. The bar falls dead silent, followed by a collective gasp of disbelief. A man just defeated the infamous Yi family heiress in a contest of raw strength. It shatters everyone's worldview. Chu Qing just shoots her a cold glance. Remember your promise. He grabs his stunned sister's hand and walks out amidst a sea of dumbfounded stares. Yi Chenxi's goons move to intercept, but her furious roar stops them. Back off. She stares at her tingling hand, all playful arrogance gone, replaced by shock and a dangerously ignited obsession. This man is interesting. Cut to a high-stakes underground auction. This isn't street brawling, it's clan-level chess. When the Tang family alchemy formula is auctioned off at a sky-high price to a mysterious buyer named Tang Zian, even Chu Qing senses danger. Beside him, Yi Chenxi still wears her rebellious princess act. But Chu Qing shatters her false sense of security with one sentence. The agents you sent to investigate your aunt, your mother already disposed of them. Do you really think you have any power? The words hit like a thunderclap, draining the color from Yi Chenxi's face. After the auction, Chu Qing cuts to the chase, demanding the buyer of the mysterious bronze pot. The housekeeper smiles knowingly. He's realized Chu Qing isn't interested in the wine inside. It's the pot itself. This high schooler's ambitions are massive. On the dark road home, behind the wheel, Chu Qing's mind is a storm. Watching the world fly by, it clicks. He's not just Chu Qing the lone swordsman anymore. In this world, he has a father who fights to protect him, a troublesome sister, the complicated entanglement with Yi Chenxi, and Tang Zian. He must carve a path of his own in this inverted reality for himself and for them. Suddenly, the car jolts. The road ahead is wrong. A chilling, murderous aura saturates the air. Chu Qing cuts all presence, becoming a ghost in the night. He sees it now. A group in uniforms, bearing an official, icy aura, has blocked a convoy led by an elderly woman. The leader, a woman in purple robes, raises a token. By the authority of the Martial Oversight Bureau, hand over the national treasure. Before the words fade, violent energy explodes. This isn't a street fight. It's the world's official power clashing head-on with a local magnate. A battle of terrifying, high-level martial arts, far beyond Chu Qing's current understanding, erupts before his very eyes. He did it. Chu Qing just turned the entire bar upside down. A male fighter, dismantling Yi Chenxi's plans single-handedly. The crowd is in utter disbelief. After victory, it's not about gloating. He throws the terms of the bet in her face and struts out with his dazed sister. Her goons try to make a move, overruled by Yi Chenxi herself, fuming with rage. This isn't just a win. It's a statement from a celestial swordsman slumming it in an underground ring. Yi Chenxi is seething, but that look in her eyes? It's not defeat, it's obsession. For a woman like her, the one who got away just became the unattainable prize. Meanwhile, the car ride home is anything but relaxing for Chu Qing's sister. He isn't soothing her fears, he's delivering a brutal reality check. Think about that family member who nearly ruined everything through sheer recklessness. That's the level of fury and fearful relief in Chu Qing's scolding this time. But Chu Qing's mind is already miles ahead. Driving home under the night sky, his resolve solidifies into something new. He's not the lone swordsman from the celestial realm anymore. He has a family to protect, troublesome bonds he cares about. For their sake, he's decided to carve out his own kingdom in this ridiculous world. Just as this ironclad vow takes root, the universe decides to test it. Things are about to get weird. First, the road is eerily empty. Chu Qing's immortal instincts scream danger. Then, a murderous aura so thick it feels like lightning is laced with malice crashes down. This is no coincidence. Chu Qing ditches the car and vanishes into the roadside grass, becoming the ultimate spectator. And what does he see? Two factions squaring off. One side wears a uniform. The other looks like trouble. But the leader, a woman in a purple robe. Her aura alone dwarfs the combined pressure of the other six. What fresh horror is this? The confrontation explodes. The purple-robed woman identifies her unit, Jianwu, a government department created to police ancient martial artists. She accuses them of theft, of stealing a national treasure. The elderly woman on the other side roars back in fury, demanding to see the official warrant. You know what happens next when talk fails? An all-out brawl. Lightning clashes with blade energy in a spectacle of raw power. Hiding in the grass, Chu Qing absorbs it all. One thing becomes crystal clear. The game in this world is far bigger and dirtier than he thought. And like it or not, he's already a player on the board. Home was supposed to be his sanctuary, but for Chu Qing, it's just a source of irritation. The relentless chatter of his virtual sister, the absurd daily life under the female-dominant rules. He takes a deep breath, sits in meditation, letting his 300-year-old soul settle and expand. External noise fades away, replaced by a perception that transcends the very laws of this world. Irritation is washed away by a colder, more resolute will. This world, he must see through it, and he must conquer it. Schoolyard sunlight is bright. Classmates' chatter is normal. His friend Lin Dong asks about yesterday with concern, but Chu Qing just offers an evasive smile. Seated alone in the corner, he watches the world around him, completely inverted in his eyes, yet perfectly normal to everyone else. A sense of alienation, like an invisible wall, isolates him, the former immortal overlord, completely. The liveliness belongs to them. He only has 300 years of memories and an immense, soul-deep loneliness. This is just the interlude. The real show's about to pick back up, folks. An even bigger storm is brewing down the road. The road home becomes Chu Qing's path of resolution. Gripping the steering wheel, he understands he's no longer the solitary swordsman from the immortal realm. He must establish an unshakable foothold in this twisted world, for his family, for those he loves. But on this night of newfound resolve, killing intent tears through the air without warning. Alert, he stops the car and hides, witnessing firsthand a battle beyond his current kin. A woman in a violet cloak flashes a supervision order, emblem of the nation's will. An instant later, the 6 opponents become 6 corpses. This woman, she's ruthless. He thought he was just a spectator, but the aura of the bronze cauldron on him gave him away. Who's there? Show yourself. The violet-robed enforcer instantly locked onto his position. No way to avoid it. Then fight. The soul of the 3-century-old sword god erupts forth. The life-or-death struggle is terrifyingly swift. In the end, Chu Qing narrowly wins, turning the kill. But he paid a steep price. In her dying moment, she fired a special projectile called Net Piercer. Carrying immense killing energy, it's now buried deep in his body. The wound is severe. Worse, that icy killing energy is furiously corroding his meridians and life force. The very first step on Chu Qing's path to supremacy is into a patch of deadly thorns. The legendary sword god, now a high school student, found himself interrogated by the concerned class president for skipping breakfast. Just as he tried to politely decline this world's unique brand of kindness, a wild fangirl appeared. With a leaping hug and a sudden confession, she ignited the classroom. Instantly, the class president and the new rival transformed their verbal dispute into an all-out, chair-throwing brawl. Chu Qing could only watch in bewildered silence as a simple meal offer escalated into a high school gladiator match. Who knew navigating romance would be more chaotic than facing heavenly tribulations? The girl gang brawl reached a boiling point when the jilted brunette, consumed by jealousy, spun around with a weapon aimed at Chu Qing. Just as her attack was about to land, a hand shot out and grabbed her wrist with unnerving precision. It was Yi Ma, the enigmatic brother of Yi Chenxi. A single, cold glare from him was all it took for the girl to drop her weapon and slink away, defeated. With the chaos now a whisper, Ma turned to Chu Qing, his expression inscrutable, and posed a simple, loaded question. Shall we talk? Yima cut straight to the chase, offering a surprisingly sincere apology for his elder sister's domineering actions the day before. He even insisted his own red-haired younger sister act as Chu Qing's personal chauffeur home. For a moment, it seemed like a real peace offering. Relaxing in the back seat, Chu Qing felt a rare moment of calm, right before the car turned a corner. And there she was. Yi Chenxi, the storm in human form, leaned casually against her own car, a cat that got the canary smile on her lips. Her words sliced through the night air. "Get in, Chu Qing. Unless you'd prefer I have a little chat with your family instead." The momentary truce shattered into a million icy shards. The scene shifts to a tableau of utter carnage. A government agent, the Jian Wuxi, cloaked in purple, dispatches 6 powerful foes with the casual ease of swatting flies. Chu Qing, hidden in the shadows with his precious bronze tripod, tried to slip away unnoticed, but the artifact's aura betrayed him. In the next instant, death descended. The purple-clad woman moved like a bolt of amethyst lightning, her attacks brutal and overwhelming. Chu Qing had no choice but to fight. The battle instincts of a celestial sword god flared to life. Blades of chi clashed, shockwaves shattered the earth. Against all odds, he weathered her onslaught, found a flaw in her assault, and struck back with a devastating counter. But victory came at a terrible price. A peculiar bullet named Piercing Net had torn through him, and the devastating killing intent it carried was now burrowing through his meridians like a parasitic plague. For the first time in this weaker world, the former sword god faced a truly mortal threat. The agent was dead, but Chu Qing stood on the brink of collapse. Clutching his grievous wound, blood pouring freely, he sank to one knee. The alien power of the piercing net bullet rampaged inside him, each heartbeat an agony that shook even his 3-century refined soul. In the cold rain, he lifted his head, his gaze not filled with fear, but with fury and a blazing, unyielding will. "You think a trick like this can end me?" He gritted his teeth, forcing the last dregs of his spiritual power against the invading corruption. "You people in this world have no idea what real power is." This fight was more than just a physical ordeal. It was a bloody declaration of war against the very rules of this absurd, topsy-turvy reality. Yimao wasn't so bad after all. He came to apologize for his out-of-control sister and even had his own younger sister drive Chu Qing home. For a moment, Chu Qing thought the Yi family might have one reasonable person. But did you think it would end so peacefully? Not far down the road, another, even more ostentatious car blocked the way. The door opened, and there she was again, Yi Chenxi, radiating an aura that could freeze anyone in their tracks. An apology? That word simply doesn't exist in Miss Ye's dictionary. She dropped the ultimatum: get in the car with her, or she'd use the safety of his entire family as bargaining chips. The calm facade shattered instantly, and a new tempest began. Once inside Yi Chenxi's car, did you think Chu Qing would just submit? Fat chance. A 300-year-old sword god from the immortal realm, kneeling to a young mistress's threats? In an instant, the air in the car plummeted below freezing. Chu Qing didn't speak, but his silent, dangerous aura immediately overwhelmed Yi Chenxi's dominance. The way he looked at her was terrifyingly calm. His words weren't a request, but a final ultimatum. Touch my family, and the price will be one you can't afford. Fascinatingly, faced with this blatant threat, Yi Chenxi didn't explode in anger. Instead, she smiled. She claimed she wasn't there to cause trouble, but to offer help. Forget threats and submission. This was a battle of wills between 2 apex predators, locked in a claustrophobic mental duel. Fast forward to a real life-or-death confrontation. An enigmatic overseer, the woman in purple robes, wielded her authority with a brutality that put any gangster to shame. 6 lives extinguished before her like crushing ants. Chu Qing tried to slip away unseen, but the aura of the bronze cauldron on him gave him away. Exposed, the fight erupted instantly. Her techniques were vicious, every move aimed for the kill. But who was Chu Qing? The battle-scarred sword god himself. The clash was explosive, and in the end, he managed to turn the tables, taking down the formidable overseer. Yet, in that moment of victory, a specially crafted bullet named Web Piercer, saturated with murderous intent, lodged deep into his body. This was no ordinary wound. Its lethal aura clung to him like a curse, starting to viciously devour his very life force. Bleeding and teetering on the brink, who could Chu Qing trust? He didn't go home. Instead, he dragged his dying body to Hua Hua's place. The moment Hua Hua opened the door, she was shocked to her core. Chu Qing gritted his teeth and ordered, cut out the infected flesh from the wound now. But Hua Hua was just an ordinary person. How could she possibly do it? Her hands shook too much to even hold the scalpel. Helpless, she tearfully called Yi Chensi. Miss Yi arrived in a whirlwind, without a moment's hesitation. The surgery? She performed it with a robot's cold precision, each cut clean and decisive. But the moment it was over, the mood did a complete 180. Yi Chensi glared at Chu Qing, and her eyes held not concern, but a raging storm of jealousy and fury. You were this badly hurt, and you went to her first? Not me. A fight even more dramatic than the surgery erupted right then and there. Chu Qing's clear-headed retort laid bare the hypocrisy of her domineering rules for the not for me attitude. Yi Chensi was so livid she nearly exploded on the spot, finally resorting to her classic fallback. Just tell me, are you joining my Discord or not? And guess what Chu Qing did? He played dumb, pretending the injury had made him lose his memory for a moment. This one move completely deflated the tension-filled scene, leaving a mix of exasperation and dark humor hanging in the air. Was the crisis truly over? Not a chance. Sitting in the silent darkness, Chu Qing felt the web-piercer bullet like a poisonous seed buried deep within him. He'd sealed it with all his might, but the terrifying murderous intent raged against the seal like a beast in a cage, ready to break free and turn on its master any moment. Anyone looking from the outside might think it was just a wound from an ordinary gunshot. Little did they know, a battle of attrition against an otherworldly force was silently raging within a 17-year-old's body. The sword god's path is never smooth, and this topsy-turvy world was testing the limits of his 2 lifetimes of experience in the most brutal way possible. Inside the cramped car, the air is thick not with killing intent, but something worse, suffocating mental pressure. The hand of the Yi family heiress, trying to play with fire, is met head-on by a high school student. The look in Chu Qing's eyes distills 3 centuries of swordsmanship into a silent, unmistakable warning. Touch my family, and face the consequences. Yi Chensi just smiles, her gaze heavy with meaning. This isn't a threat. It's an invitation. A high-stakes gamble over trust has just begun. The probe comes like a viper's strike, silent and direct. Yi Chensi cuts straight to the heart, dropping a conversational bombshell. What you practice, it's that lost ancient martial arts, isn't it? Her intelligence network has scoured every known avenue. Chu Qing's power doesn't fit anywhere in their database. Alarm bells scream in Chu Qing's mind, yet his expression remains unreadable stone. What ancient martial arts? I'm just a normal high school student. Does even he believe those words? The physical world answers in the very next second. Asterisk, asterisk, crash. A runaway beast of steel, filled with suicidal resolve, plows straight into them. In that flash of sparks and chaos, instinct overrides all calculation for Chu Qing. Using his own body as a shield, he throws himself over Yi Chensi. Glass, shrapnel, and blood erupt together. 2 prodigies are reduced to bloody messes in an instant. This was no accident. It was an execution attempt. Dragging his nearly shattered body, operating on fumes, Chu Qing stumbles to Hua Hua's door. The sight of him, drenched in blood, nearly shatters Hua Hua's soul. Gritting his teeth, Chu Qing orders her to immediately cut away the rotting, necrotic flesh from his wound. But seeing the gruesome injury and Chu Qing's precarious state, the knife trembles violently in Hua Hua's hand. She can't do it. In her panic, a figure flashes in her mind. That's it. Sister Yi. She can definitely handle this. The person was indeed summoned. Yi Chensi's treatment of the wound was brutally efficient, cutting away the rot in one decisive stroke, though the process was sheer agony for Chu Qing. But the moment the physical trauma was dealt with, the emotional damage arrived right on schedule. Glaring at Chu Qing on the bed, then at the trembling Hua Hua beside him, Yi Chensi's jealousy detonated like a nuclear bomb. When you're hurt, you come to her first, not me? What exactly is going on between you two behind my back? Chu Qing, still in pain, fired back. Miss Yi, so it's fine for you to have a harem, but I can't have a single friend? His righteous counter-question left Yi Chensi fuming. Finally, in her exasperation, she pressed him again about joining her Discord. Chu Qing simply closed his eyes and feigned oblivion. Huh? My head is spinning. What just happened? This Oscar-worthy performance of amnesia was the perfect final touch. The car's wrecked, the smoke hasn't cleared, and now it gets even worse. A group of strange women-wielding clubs emerge from the haze, surrounding the injured Chu Qing and Yi Chensi. This was no accident. It's a meticulously planned ambush. Seeing these attackers show no mercy, Yi Chensi explodes with fury. Even injured, Her sheer ferocity ignites as she vows to protect Chu Qing at all costs. And our sword, immortal Chu? He's far from helpless. 3 centuries of combat instinct kick in instantly. Back to back with Yi Chenxi, they move in flawless sync, utterly dismantling their ambushers in a display of raw, satisfying power. The immediate threat is gone, the tension easing as they catch their breath. But just as they might exchange a nod of respect, Yi Chenxi's phone rings. One call shatters everything. News hits. Her mother, the pillar of the Yi family, was attacked at the exact same moment and is now on the brink of death. Yi Chenxi completely shatters, clutching Chu Qing, pleading with him not to leave. She knows too well, if her mother falls, her own position in the family collapses. Chu Qing, with 3 centuries of insight, cuts right to the core. A simultaneous, precise strike on both mother and daughter? This is nothing less than a brutal power play within the Yi family. Without a moment's hesitation, he decides to dive back into the whirlpool of power with her. Meanwhile, in a later timeline, Chu Qing, bleeding and barely conscious, stumbles into Huahua's place. Seeing him in this state, Huahua is utterly terrified. Gritting his teeth, Chu Qing demands she immediately cut away the rotting flesh around his wound. But Huahua is too scared, her hands trembling uncontrollably. In a panic, she calls the professional, Yi Chenxi. Chenxi arrives, all cold efficiency. No hersetaschen, no flinching. But once the surgery is done, the green-eyed monster rears its head. You came to her first, not me. An explosive argument erupts right there in Huahua's room. Chu Qing fires back. Isn't this a woman's world? Your rules, remember? No double standards. Stung, a flustered Yi Chenxi falls back on her old tactic. So are you joining our Discord now? Chu Qing's response? Masterful amnesia. Discord? Wait, who am I? Pure, unadulterated avoidance. The next morning, Yi Chenxi isn't letting it go. She corners him, demanding to know what really happened last night. Chu Qing drops the bomb with casual gravity. I killed a Jinwu envoy. The reaction is immediate and explosive. Both Yi Chenxi and Huahua are stunned. Chenxi spots the distinctive bullet, the Wang Chuan, a nightmare weapon specifically designed to kill martial artists. She explains the terrifying hierarchy of the Jinwu enforcers: red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and, for the first time, lays out this world's martial ranking system for Chu Qing. Entry, martial, perfection, transformation, sage, each with 9 levels. Chu Qing casually reveals he's already at the peak of entry, level 9, on the verge of breaking into martial. Dismissing their concern, he gets ready for school, showing off a wound that has healed at a monstrous rate. Stunned by his recovery and power, Yi Chenxi makes a desperate plea. Teach me how to survive a Wang Chuan. He agrees, but with one condition: school first. Chu Qing and Yi Chenxi had just found a moment of mutual respect after demolishing their foes. But that fragile truce shattered the instant a phone rang. The news on the other end was a gut punch. Yi Chenxi's mother, the very pillar of the Yi family, had been attacked at the same time and was on the brink of death. Picture the horror: fighting a battle outside while your home base is being obliterated. The formidable Yi heir crumbled, grabbing Chu Qing as her last lifeline, her voice trembling with a fear she'd never shown before. If her mother fell, her own position in the ruthless Yi family hierarchy would be dust. While she panicked, Chu Qing's mind was coldly calculating. A simultaneous, targeted hit on both mother and daughter? This was no coincidence. This was a move to wipe out the Yi family's main bloodline. The dark undercurrents of Jin Min were surfacing. Fine. He'd follow her into this viper's nest. Someone was playing a deadly game, and he was intrigued enough to see who. Watching the once arrogant heiress reduced to a broken, despairing figure, Chu Qing didn't offer platitudes. His simple promise, "I'll go with you," and his presence beside her spoke louder than any empty reassurance. They headed straight for the heavily guarded Yi family estate. The head butler, waiting in solemn respect at the gates, set the tone. This was no ordinary homecoming. This was stepping into the eye of a hurricane. By walking through those gates with Yi Chenxi, Chu Qing wasn't just offering support. He was formally declaring his entry into the most ruthless, high-stakes power struggle at the very pinnacle of this matriarchal world. A new chapter began, steeped in the scent of blood and intrigue. Fast forward. It's the next morning. Back at Chu Qing's place, Yi Chenxi and Huahua are desperate for details about the previous night's chaos. Cool as a cucumber, Chu Qing drops the bomb. Oh, I killed a purple-robed enforcer from the Jianwu department last night. The air in the room turned to ice. Their jaws hit the floor. Buddy, do you even know what Jianwu is? It's the official, government-sanctioned agency that polices martial artists. The purple-robed ones are their elite enforcers. And how in the hell did you survive a Wang Chuan bullet, a forbidden round designed specifically to shred a martial artist's defensive aura and kill them in one shot? Yi Chenxi's mind was blown. She had to give this newbie a crash course on the world's power system. Ru, Wu, Ji, Hua, Shun, 5 major realms with 9 levels each. Chu Qing just nodded casually. Got it. I'm at Ru realm, level 9. Almost breaking into Wu. He said it like he was commenting on the weather. All Chu Qing could think about was getting to school before his dad figured out he was gone all night. He tried to bolt, but Yi Chenxi and Hua Hua, seeing his injuries, physically blocked him. Are you insane? You need to rest for days with wounds like that. Without a word, Chu Qing simply tore off the bandages wrapped around him. Holy crap! The wounds that were fresh and bloody just hours ago were now little more than faint scars, nearly healed. Talk about a showstopper. Forget Yi Chenxi, even I'm stunned watching this. That's not human regeneration. That's monster tier recovery. Chu Qing's body, fused with dragon lineage and immortal cultivation, is basically an unfair advantage in this world's martial arts system. It's a power mismatch on a cosmic scale. Instantly, Yi Chenxi switched from shock to fanatical curiosity mode. She grabbed Chu Qing, her eyes practically sparkling. Wait, how did you suppress the Wang Chuan aura? Can you teach me? This is a life-saving technique every martial artist dreams of mastering. As a player in the underworld, she knew exactly what having a counter to the Jian Wu's signature kill move meant. Absolute strategic dominance. Chu Qing agreed easily enough. Sure, I can teach you. But right now, I really have to get a class. I'm going to be late. And with that, he walked off, leaving a frazzled Yi Chenxi at the door, yelling after him. Get back here. While the storm of the Yi family's internal struggle looms, a new storm, the chase for the secrets Chu Qing holds, has officially begun. Wherever this immortal transmigrator goes, peace and quiet are officially canceled. The weekend preview is in. It's a buffet of harem fantasy manhwa covers, each promising a grander escape than the last. Get ready to binge. Back at school, our 300-year-old immortal swordsman has found the perfect place for his afternoon nap, the classroom. Look, our diligent class rep, Song Chaoran, already panicking. This won't end well. Boom. The teacher, Miss Tong Fei, snaps. She's furious, slamming the desk and threatening to call his parents. Chu Qing, still half asleep, reacts like a man who hasn't been scolded by a teacher in centuries. Get my parents? Classic. Chu Qing offers the most sincere apology known to man, promising not to bother others next time he naps. It's so perfect it's infuriating. Miss Tong Fei sees red and makes a power move. If her favorite student, Song Chaoran, can't make the top 10, she'll make a spectacle of her puppy love in front of the whole school. Song Chaoran is mortified. Hero time. Chu Qing steps up, offering to take the exam for Song Chaoran and face the consequences himself. Look at her face, blushing like crazy. But hold on. See that pink-haired girl in the corner? Blank stare, already mentally drafting a report to her real boss, Tang Xian. A romantic rescue just turned into a ticking time bomb. Stepping into the Yi family mansion was like walking into a storm. The hostility hit before they'd even crossed the threshold. Chu Qing, a former sword god from the immortal realm, had seen countless plots. But this kind of targeted humiliation, this rules for men talk, that was new. As Yi Chenxi shielded him from the disdainful glares of her aunt and cousin, a cold smirk formed in his mind. Let's see who the real doctor is here. Rules? Yi Chenxi tossed them aside with a single declaration. He's my mother's doctor? The argument was cut short by a frantic aunt. The situation was dire. Inside, the Yi family matriarch lay pale and weak. Chu Qing moved with purpose. One touch of her pulse, and his expression darkened. This isn't a wound, he breathed, his voice low with certainty. It's a corruption. Someone had planted poison at the very heart of the family. A silent, brutal battle erupted by the sickbed. Chu Qing's fingers glowed with golden light as he wrestled with the sinister black energy, pulling it from the matriarch's body like a toxin. The air crackled. It was a temporary fix, but the tide had turned. When Lady Yi Qingmei finally opened her eyes, her gaze held more than just gratitude. It held a knowing glint. That night, watching the normally unflappable Chu Qing fumble awkwardly at her car window over parental perceptions, a victorious little smile played on Yi Chenxi's lips. Destiny's gears clicked into place. On the basketball court, a familiar figure soared. A slam dunk. The silhouette against the sun, the fire in those eyes. A key sliding into a lock. Her, Tang Xian. Even in this upside-down world, his soul recognized hers. He watched the adoration of the boys around her, then stepped forward. When she challenged him to a game with a cocky bet, "If I win, you're my boyfriend," he simply nodded calmly. Asterisk the queen of this new world? Our story is far from over. Asterisk. A date? Danzian lauget sopti. Taping juking she forehead. Be me first. Get to my level. Meanwhile, Yi Chinsi offered her own reward for saving her mother. While he pretended to ponder his choice, his mind was racing. Asterisk information. Power. Status. I'll take what I need my way. Asterisk the sudden bank transfer from Yi Chinsi for living expenses, though. Did he look like he needed handouts? Well, the funds for a certain information broker just became mysteriously available. The love triangle is getting spicy. Song Chaoran, the sweetheart, rushes over to comfort her crush Chu Qing with a lunch date after hearing about his trouble. But plot twist, when the blue-haired class monitor, Tong Fei, meekly apologizes for getting him in trouble, Chu Qing turns the tables. With the confidence of a 300-year-old sword god, he calls her out, leaving her blushing mess. That's called reading the room and the heart. Freshly friend-zoned, Song Chaoran is still floating on cloud 9. Her moment of bliss is brutally interrupted by Tao Yunyao, Tang Xian's loyal defender. She's furious. How dare this pretty boy hug another woman in front of her best friend? Demand an apology. But Chu Qing isn't having it. With a cold smirk, he fires back. She's got a legion of admirers. When was the last time she apologized to me? The power dynamic just got a major flip. Tao Yunyao sees red, slamming the table in outrage. "Is that your attitude?" she yells. But Chu Qing's response is physical and intense. He yanks her closer by the collar. "What? You want me to stay away from all women too?" His voice is low, filled with domineering challenge. The tables have turned completely. Yunyao's anger evaporates, replaced by a furious blush and wide, flustered eyes at the sudden proximity. Before things escalate further, the powerhouse of the group, Tang Xian, steps in. A single, authoritative enough, shuts everything down, ordering Tao Yunyao to leave first. The bystander Song Chaoran makes a swift exit. Left alone, Yunyao stands there, fists clenched, biting her lip in a storm of embarrassment and frustration. Chu Qing just exposed a hidden truth with the most aggressive move possible. With the others gone, the real trouble begins. Alone with Chu Qing, the mood shifts. He drops a surprisingly sincere, "When I say I love you, I mean it. You can rely on me sometimes." Xian's face lights up with a hopeful smile. But the next moment, she drops a bombshell. "That formula you gave me, my lab tested it. It's not a cultivation aid. It's poison." Chu Qing's world stops. The 300-year-old master just got blindsided in his own domain. His expression screams one thing: impossible. The pink-haired girl leans over the desk toward Qing, who appears to be the picture of a passed-out student. She shakes his shoulder, her concern evident. Is the reborn swordsman actually asleep in class? Qing cracks one eye open, and a sly smirk creeps onto his face. He's not asleep. He's been waiting. "Were you worried about me?" he teases, catching the girl completely off guard. Before she can process it, he casually invites her to join a Discord server, leaving her utterly confused. Cue the entrance of the purple-haired girl with glasses, looking sheepish and ready to confess her tempting role in this scheme. It seems Qing is mastering the art of navigating modern, girl-dominated social circles much faster than any ancient cultivation technique. Here comes the Scanlation Group's obligatory thank you page, complete with calls to join their Discord and support their Patreon. Notice anything in the center of their featured series? Yep, it's Qing's own story, Immortal Swordsman in the Reverse World, front and center. The promo image perfectly captures his new reality. One man calmly sitting at the center of attention, surrounded by powerful, beautiful women. Forget eating soft rice. This is about commanding respect in a world designed to look down on you. If you're enjoying this journey of flipping the script, go show the team some love, because in the next chapter of this backward world, things are only getting wilder. Chapter 53 hits the ground running. The stern teacher, Tong Fei, with her signature purple pigtails, is here, but not in a classroom. She's in a lab-like space, coolly demanding to take possession of what's described as a special poison formula, a key asset of the Tang family. The short-haired man across from her seems utterly unbothered, waving her off with a "just take it." He even clarifies that this cultivation booster is essentially slow poison for martial artists. A cold transaction, a piece of chilling intel. Qing might not be in this scene, but the web of secrets and dangers around him just got one strand tighter. What role does teacher Tong Fei really play in all this? And now, the main event. Chu Qing himself. Here he is in a cafe with his pint-sized information broker, Chunhua. At first, Qing is in full, "How dare you insult me," with a mere transaction mode, radiating disgust. But Hua doesn't even flinch. She calmly holds up 2 fingers and nonchalantly whispers, 200 million. Bam! The entire panel lights up with the radiant, glorious glow of cold, hard cash. In a stunning display of whiplash, Qing's righteous fury evaporates, replaced instantly by a perfectly pleasant, "Why yes, we can absolutely work something out." He even casually asks to buy some medicinal herbs, grumbling about not wanting to rely on alchemist Xiaoyu anymore. Hua's skeptical side-eye says it all. Is this 17-year-old with a 300-year-old soul planning to concoct his own elixirs? With the deal sealed, the atmosphere shifts from boardroom to something much softer. Hua rests her chin on her hand, a playful smile on her lips as she delivers what might be the highest form of praise in this matriarchal society. Not a single man in this country is good at making elixirs. But if it's you, then it's possible. Meanwhile, our immortal swordsman, munching on pastries, is losing an internal battle. This world is way too hostile for men. But his mental grumbling grinds to a halt as Hua reaches out and gently wipes a crumb from his mouth. In an instant, Qing is lost in a swirl of pink hearts and sakura petals, his expression a hilarious mix of shock and pure, unadulterated bliss. Across the table, Hua looks utterly satisfied, as if she's just tasted something exquisite. So much for the hardened dealmaker. One second we had high-stakes negotiation, the next, a gourmet feeding session. Qing, the great sword god, reduced to a flustered mess by a single, simple gesture. This reverse world playbook is a lot harder to master than any sword technique. Café vibe? More like a battlefield of affection. Yi Chenxi, the formidable Miss Yi, goes straight for the kill with a gentle finger on Chu Qing's cheek. Can you believe it? A 300-year-old sword god from the heavens, suddenly looking all flustered by a simple touch. She's radiating mischief, practically teasing him. Shouldn't a guy get a little embarrassed in a situation like this? Talk about turning the tables in this matriarchal world. Then she shifts gears, her tone turning deadly serious. Stop training in martial arts. If it's for self-defense, I'll protect you. It's a command wrapped in concern, a classic power move. And just when the tension peaks, she pulls out her family's secret healing elixir. It's not just medicine, it's a claim. That final, lingering touch on his hand says it all. He's under her care, whether he likes it or not. Plot twist. Just when you thought it was all sweet nothings, Yi Chenxi drops the ultimate bombshell. If I see you training again, we're through. I don't want my future husband to be infertile. Boom. Infertility? From cultivating ancient martial arts? Chu Qing's mind is reeling, struck by a mental thunderclap. This changes everything. It's not just prejudice. It's a systemic trap designed to keep men down, literally crippling their potential from the root. The quiet night cityscape that follows feels heavy with this revelation. The rules of this topsy-turvy world are far more sinister and deeply ingrained than he thought. His path just got 1,000 times harder. Home sweet chaos. The moment Chu Qing creeps back in, he's greeted not with open arms, but with open slippers. His father, in full worried homemaker mode, unleashes a flurry of slipper smacks. "You naughty son, where have you been?" Just as Chu Qing is about to call for backup, in walks the chaos agent herself, Yi Chenxi, with a perfectly innocent smile. "It was my fault. I got drunk last night, and Chu Qing had to take care of me." Chu Qing's face? Priceless. Absolute horror. A man and a woman alone in a room all night. His brain is already writing the scandalous headlines his dad is imagining. This isn't a rescue. It's a setup for the most awkward family dinner of the century. A flash of pain. Chu Qing remembers the big cabbage he painstakingly raised, a clear, heartbreaking metaphor for his past life love, Tang Zian, taken away just like that. The old wound aches even in this new life. But reality intrudes. Yi Chenxi finds him, her demeanor now a complete 180 from the cafe. That gentle, almost ethereal smile is back. "Here, take this med." She offers a glowing vial of medicine. The contrast is jarring. One moment she's threatening to cut ties over his training. The next she's playing the caring healer. What's her game? Is this genuine concern, or another layer of her intricate plan to control him? The line between poison and cure has never been thinner. The gloves are off. Any pretense of gentleness vanishes from Yi Chenxi's face, replaced by a cold, razor-sharp smirk. "Since you're Miss Tang's boyfriend, why would you need my family's healing medicine?" Ouch. That's not just jealousy. That's a declaration of war, laced with bitter irony. Cut to domestic chaos. Chu Qing's attempt to lie about joining a Discord server is foiled instantly by his eagle-eyed dad. You little brat. I knew you didn't join. Cue the sequel, Slipper Justice, Reloaded. The sound of slap, slap, slap fills the air, accompanied by Chu Qing's desperate pleas. Please stop. I don't want to join Discord. One moment, it's a high-stakes emotional showdown. The next, it's a slapstick family comedy. The whiplash is real. Whoa, Missy is playing no games. Facing down some punk, she doesn't just threaten to kill him. That's too merciful. She's gonna make him wish he were dead herself. With that look in her eyes and that aura, it's clear Chu Qing's tangled with someone seriously dangerous. Buckle up because this is about to get wild. All right, Chu Qing's in full alchemy master mode now. A gift nobody else wants? He's taking it, no questions asked. But hold on, he's pivoting fast. Now, he's offering to teach Chinsi how to deal with this Wang Quan guy on the spot, and calling the technique more valuable than life. Chu Qing, bro, you were an immortal swordsman in your past life, but now you're giving off serious devil instructor vibes. And hey, with them holding hands like that, the lesson is getting suspiciously close. See what happens when you're too confident? Chu Qing tried to use his past life knowledge to open Yi Chenxi's meridians, but the energy surged in and bam. She's instantly in agony, her face contorted in pain. Chu Qing's panic is written all over his face. His inner monologue is definitely screaming. OMG, the manual was wrong? Now he's scrambling for a remedy. Trying to play the expert in this world? It's a lot harder than it looks. Incredible. Chu Qing just cracked the code. Direct infusion was a disaster. So he switched tactics, becoming a channel for the energy. This time, golden energy flows, and instead of agony, Yi Chenxi is blushing, murmuring about how comfortable it feels. Talk about a whiplash. We went from excruciating medical treatment straight to a relaxing spa session. Chu Qing, are you healing her or flirting with her? Disaster incoming, folks. The treatment just ended. She's all flushed and dreamy. He's deep in thought. The vibe is pure, unadulterated romance. Then bang, the door flies open. It's Chu Qing's stay-at-home dad, brandishing a spatula like a weapon, absolutely furious. You said you were studying. How did studying get you onto the bed? Oh, game over. Good luck explaining your whole meridian discrepancy theory to him now. Chu Qing. Chu Qing is living through his worst nightmare. His dad walking in on what looks like a compromising situation. The black-haired woman in his bed smoothly claims she just needed to lie down, leaving him to face the parental inquisition. But his mind isn't on this awkward family drama. See him kneeling. His focus isn't on healing meridians. It's on something else entirely. Look at that light in his hand. He's instantly forging a mystical bluish-green scabbard with intricate patterns, a true display of his celestial smithing skills. But the mood shifts instantly. We cut to a chilling crime scene at night. A remote cabin, police tape, a body. A figure in black boots stands over the blood, murmuring, interesting, someone hit by Wang Chuan. Only left these few traces. What kind of trouble is Chu Qing really in? The forest under the moonlight sets the stage for a secret briefing. The golden-haired agent in the green cloak is razor-sharp. The killing method, it's not orthodox martial arts. More primitive. Could it be a man? Her blue cloak partner is stunned. Without missing a beat, she issues orders. Lock down all major hospitals. Track the black market recovery drug trade. Investigate the auction on the night of the murder. Precision strike. Just when you think she's all business, her expression softens. With a sly smile, she drops a bombshell. By the way, my family arranged a marriage meeting in Jinmen with the son of the Chu family's sixth lady. They say he's quite the catch. A murder investigation and a marriage interview? Things in Jinmen are about to get wild. A sudden, powerful AC Choo echoes in Chu Qing's room. He rubs his nose, skeptically eyeing the little green dragon statue in his hand. Is someone talking about me behind my back? Oh, they absolutely are. Deep in the forest, the mysterious duo are on the hunt. The blue cloak asks, did you find a guy who hasn't joined Discord? The golden-haired one in green flashes a triumphant, devious grin. I did. I even found his delightful nickname, the Discordless M***Thurf***Ker. And now, we're going to grab him and make that son of a B***TCH join. Chu Qing, you might want to check your DMs. Your stalkers are coming. Another loud ACHO rocks the room. Chu Qing is utterly confused now, staring at the green dragon figurine as if it holds the answer. The F***CK was that. Is someone seriously talking behind my back? His celestial instincts are on point as always. And with that puzzling thought, we've reached the end of this chapter. A huge shout out to all our awesome patrons and supporters. You can join us on Discord, support us on Patreon, and we'll catch you next time in Immortal Swordsman in the Reverse World. We're back with a bang. Chapter 55 opens with Chu Qing in deep meditation. His spirit soars beyond the mortal plane. With a thought, he calls forth a massive, ancient stone statue that spins wildly among the stars. Then, Kanananan, a colossal golden sword plummets from the heavens, tearing through the sky. It radiates pure, celestial law in its every gleam. As Chu Qing's eyes snap open, you can just tell, this sword isn't just a weapon. It's a promise to shatter the very foundations of this upside-down world. Let the true cultivation begin. Sword sheathed, edge concealed. With his scabbard that can restore his blade, Chu Qing finally felt secure. And then there's that creepy skull mask on the table, perfect for keeping his face hidden during future operations. But the biggest puzzle remains. What's so special about that Xiongjiang fragment that drove all those powerful figures into a frenzy? Before he could crack the code, a sharp beep from his phone in the dead of night snapped him to full alert. Talk about a forward invitation. You could practically smell the ulterior motives through the screen. Chu Qing ventured out that night to a secluded private restaurant. The table was laden with delicacies, but the real main course was information and a deal. A figure from the Yi family wanted his boosting elixir, likely for their moves against the Li family. But Chu Qing's price was higher. Not money, but a look at the Yi family's secret cultivation manuals. That bold demand sent shockwaves around the table. Whoa, the atmosphere turned on a dime. The moment Chu Qing made his demand, the Yi family elder exploded. Their ancestral martial techniques were more valuable than life, not to be given to outsiders. And then came the true gut punch. They warned him that the ancient martial world was off-limits for men. That was the last straw for Chu Qing. Why couldn't they cultivate? Just as the confrontation hit its peak, Yi Chenxi's older sister calmly offered a solution. He could read the books if he married into the Yi family. Checkmate. Using tradition itself as the ultimate barrier. Marry into your family? Chu Qing's reply was absolute. He, Chu Qing, would only take a wife, never be taken as one. In this matriarchal world, that statement was like dropping a bomb. Tradition dictated men marry into the woman's family. Was he trying to overturn the world? The negotiation shattered instantly. Chu Qing was left bewildered. All he wanted was cultivation knowledge. Why was it so shrouded in secrecy, even tied to marriage? Looks like getting answers requires a different path. Perhaps that informant, Jia Yu, holds the key and maybe the 2 million owed to him. Chu Qing found Jia Yu, whose eyes practically bulged out at the sight of 2 million in cash. Where'd you get this? Selling spirit stones? Why wasn't I cut in? Ignoring him, Chu Qing cut to the chase. Where to find ancient martial arts manuals? Jia Yu's reaction was pure disbelief. Dude, you kidding? That's not easy to find. Wait, are you cultivating? When Chu Qing admitted he wanted to refine his style, Jia Yu burst out laughing. Men get in trouble for cultivating, and you want to change styles? Finally, he delivered the earth-shattering truth that solved the mystery. To start cultivating, one must first be castrated. This world's ultimate barrier for men wasn't talent. It was this brutal precondition. Chu Qing's entire worldview shattered. Chu Qing looks like a cornered animal. 1 second, he's fantasizing about using poison to deal with those who keep pestering him to join a Discord server. The next, his phone lights up, and they've uncannily predicted his darkest, most hidden thoughts. How do they know? The sheer panic in that question is palpable. In this world, keeping a secret of your own seems next to impossible. End of the chapter. Time for the commercial break. The creators hit you with a classic. Hope you liked it. Support us on Patreon. Join our Discord, complete with a list of their other works like Office Romance and The Strongest God King. The sheer commercial hustle, wrapped in yellow and black warning stripes, yanks you right out of the story. New chapter, and a bombshell drops right away. The mysterious silver-haired guy reveals the ultimate taboo of the old martial arts. Want to reach the peak of cultivation? Sure. The price? You have to let go of your, family jewels first. Look at Chu Qing's face shift from shock to regret to pure, unadulterated disgust. Now he understands why Aunt Yi and Tang Zian were so desperately against it. This isn't cultivation. It's self-mutilation of the highest order. And the silver-haired guy is just sitting there, smiling, asking if he needs help booking the hospital. Talk about rubbing salt in the wound. Chu Qing is fuming. He learns the old techniques are monopolized by a few elite families. Forget about buying them. They're scared if men learn them, the power might diminish. What kind of warped logic is that? The arrogance of this matriarchal world is laid bare in the hoarding of power. But just as despair starts to set in, a lifeline arrives. The medicinal herbs from the Tang family have been delivered. All that frustration vanishes instantly. The alchemy master, Chu Qing, is about to get to work. A breathtaking breakthrough right at the brink. Refining a pill is supposed to be next to impossible? Not when you got a cheat code. As Chu Qing activates the mysterious mask symbol on his chest, a radiant alchemy cauldron materializes out of thin air. Golden energy spirals like dragons, transforming the impossible into reality. When the Kwani Dan, a pill that can boost one's power by 30% for a short time, finally takes form, a triumphant smile spreads across Chu Qing's face. Who says men can't defy heaven in this world? He's shattering the rules with every move. But the side effects are physical overload. Is he ready to pay that price? In the alchemy room, Hua Hua, with her pink hair, knocks on the door nervously and enters, only to find Chu Qing shirtless. Her surprise question about his activities is met with a casual, just refining pills. Hua Hua's world tilts. That's supposed to be the domain of elite families like the Tang. Faced with Chu Qing's pointed, "Don't you believe me?" Look, she fidgets, her trembling hands betraying the emotional undercurrent swirling between them. The temperature in the room skyrockets. Chu Qing pulls Hua Hua into a close embrace, the air practically shimmering with romantic tension. Gazing down at her flushed face, he teases, "Want me to stay or go home?" Hua Hua clings to his arm, her answer bursting with unashamed joy. "Of course I want you to stay." Even Chu Qing, a 300-year-old soul, is taken aback. She always seemed the most normal by his old-world standards, but this is no shy, demure response. Just as things are about to go nuclear, Hua Hua slams on the brakes. "Wait, not today. I'm on my period. Plus, you're still underage. A pregnancy would be a disaster for both our reputations, and I don't want to be the subject of rumors." The barrage leaves Chu Qing stunned, a cold sweat breaking out. His mind reels. Shouldn't this be what a man says to a woman? He fires back, indignant. "What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying I'm not responsible enough?" This heated debate about accountability and gender roles feels utterly bizarre in this upside-down world. Jump cut to Chu Qing's mental breakdown. Full-on meme mode activated. A silver-haired lady presents him with a terrible ultimatum. Join the Discord server, or his friend faces a grim anatomical consequence. The absurdity peaks with a sudden, serene flashback of a character drinking water under cherry blossoms. A stark contrast to the imagined crisis. He internally screams, "Why is someone enjoying life while my buddy is about to get chopped?" Smiling, the silver-haired tempter offers her deal. "Join Discord, and we'll stop calling you the Discordless Mutafuka." It's a bizarre, hilarious, and shamelessly fourth-wall-breaking plea from the creator themselves. Next day, Chu Qing tracks down a sleep-deprived Yi Mao on the street. Getting straight to the point, Chu Qing says, "My sister sent me to get you." Confused, Yi Mao demands to know if Chu Qing understands her intentions. "What? Aiming to be my brother-in-law?" Chu Qing teases. Yi Mao frantically denies it, accidentally spilling his secret crush on their classmate, Tao Yunyao. Chu Qing's immediate, scornful reaction? "What? That brainless woman? Ouch. Brutal." Yi Mao fires back with a bargain. "If you want to help me win her over, you'd better shut your mouth." Ah, the fragile alliances of high school life. Look at Chu Qing, a 300-year-old sword god from the immortal realm, reborn into this topsy-turvy world and having to learn the rules from scratch. His buddy is teaching him the unique girl-getting guide of this place. Yes, you heard right. In this female-dominated society, if a guy wants a date, he has to strategize like a delicate house husband. His friend even promises to persuade the girl by force if necessary. Is this the law of the land? Juking scope internally. In the middle of this absurd dating lesson, a white supercar screeches to a halt. Who's making such a grand entrance? The door opens, and out steps a purple-haired woman with an intimidating aura. Yi Chenxi, the young mistress of the Yi family who's been a thorn in Chu Qing's side. She's holding a cup of bubble tea, smiling sweetly, and hands it directly to Chu Qing. His buddy is floored. Chu Qing's heart sinks. How did she find him? Is this about last night? Is she here for payback? This bubble tea feels less like a treat and more like a trap. Too late. He fell for it. Chu Qing's head spins, his vision dims. Again, he, a former sword god who once commanded the winds and clouds, has been drugged by the same woman twice. He jolts awake to find himself being dragged towards the car, a pink, empty bottle clutched in his trembling hand. Humiliation. Utter humiliation. I'm such an idiot. He grinds his teeth, his soul seeming to writhe within his powerless body. Trying to resist? His limbs refuse to obey. Yi Chenxi, when she's determined, is like a human bulldozer. When Chu Qing comes to again, He's in an unfamiliar place. Yi Chenxi stands by the car, her back to him, delivering a calm but final verdict. You're out of this game. She's even considerate enough to hail him a ride home. Swallow this insult? No way. He turns and sprints into the night, his soul screaming. Vroom! The roar of an engine mocks him as the white supercar speeds away, leaving behind only an unshakable silhouette. Ahead of him, only a cold, towering hotel stands, Dongsa Grand Hotel, its neon sign blinking silently in the night sky like a giant question mark. But what Chu Qing never expected was this kind of game over. He's taken straight to a luxurious hotel suite. Fairy lights cast an intimate glow, and the next second, the domineering young mistress pins him down on the bed. What are you doing? Chu Qing is utterly lost. Yi Chenxi leans in, her teasing breath at his ear delivering the most outrageous line. Don't move too much. It's my first time. It might hurt a lot. Chu Qing's brain short circuits. What in the world is happening? 3 centuries of immortal cultivation did not prepare him for this. The scene freezes, cliffhanger at its peak. Next chapter. How will our legendary sword god, Chu Qing, find a way out of this predicament? Chu Qing, the 17-year-old boy with the soul of a 300-year-old sword god, walks the streets of this female-dominated world. He just had a falling out with a friend over some petty thing. Discord, cutting off elephants, all shameful jokes only men in this absurd world would make. On the surface, he's furious, swearing he'll never join. But deep down, the sword god's disdain is almost overflowing. A world where even friendship has a price tag and is maintained by threats? Ridiculous. When he shakes off that hand and walks away alone, it's not defeat, it's a declaration. I refuse to play by your rules. All right, storytime pause. Check this out. A Scanlation Group's promo page. They're pushing a bunch of series, and right at the center is our boy Chu Qing's story. Immortal swordsman in the reverse world. See that guy surrounded by women? That's him. In this world, even comic covers reinforce the narrative. Men as either coveted trophies or, well, prey. These ads are like the world's ever-present rules, whispering to every reader. This is how it is. But the story Chu Qing is living is all about shattering those rules. Cut to the bedroom of Yi Chenxi, the formidable young miss of the Yi family who makes the underground world tremble. She's in bed with Chu Qing. The atmosphere is charged. The old monster, Chu Qing, goes straight for the jugular. Didn't you say you had 35 boyfriends? Why no experience? Brutal. Yi Chenxi is utterly speechless. Those so-called boyfriends were just pawns in her power games. Chu Qing sees right through it and delivers the finishing blow. I only control them, nothing more. Look at her face. This might be the first time a man hasn't worshipped her, but instead saw right through her power plays. This is getting interesting. Yi Chenxi counters by slapping a book into Chu Qing's hands, still wearing that tsundere expression. Who said boyfriends are only for that? This is for you. Chu Qing glances at it and his mind reels. The Yi family's ancient martial arts manual. The foundation of a great clan, never shared with outsiders. Her finger touches his cheek, her possessiveness undeniable. Now you're mine, so you can open this. Whoa, this isn't a gift. It's the entire Yi family's future and its shackles, delivered in one package. But who is Chu Qing? He takes her hand and flips the script. Don't worry, I already consider you my wife. I'd do anything for you. 300 years of experience. Even his sweet talk is divine level. The formidable young Miss Yi never stood a chance. The air turns sickeningly sweet. The tension rises, passion thick in the air. Chu Qing holds Yi Chenxi from behind, their lips almost meeting, the romantic lighting almost too much to bear. But the reincarnated sword god isn't here just for love. At the moment of the kiss, Chu Qing passes something into Yi Chenxi's mouth. She's startled. What did you put in my mouth? Chu Qing smiles mysteriously. Something good. You'll find out shortly. Something good, indeed. The scene cuts to Chu Qing's inner monologue, revealing the bombshell. It's incredible. I don't know who started the ancient martial arts, but the woman who created the old system in this world. Even I, a man, am in awe. See that? This isn't a simple romance subplot. Chu Qing is using his immortal knowledge and methods to probe, perhaps even crack, the core martial code of this female-dominated world. That kiss was a probe, his first covert assault on the world's foundational rules. Imagine a world where only women can wield the martial arts, and men who try are ripped apart from the inside. Insane, right? Yet here's Chu Qing, a 300-year-old soul in a teen's body, staring at this ancient text, and a crazy idea sparks. He's not planning to play by the rules. He's planning to rewrite them entirely. Talk about a power play. Yi Chenxi, stuck for ages at a cultivation bottleneck, gets a simple cup of tea from Chu Qing. One sip and boom. Golden light, electric aura, instant breakthrough. She's floored. What did you give me? Chu Qing just smirks with a secretive trade secret. When a legendary swordsman moonlights as a cultivation dealer, you just know the rules are about to get broken. Fresh from her power-up, Yi Chenxi gets bold. A lightning-fast punch aimed straight at Chu Qing. The result? A textbook reversal. Smack. Bam. One moment, she feels like a goddess. The next, she's pinned by the true monster in the room. To an ancient sword god, being at the third layer just means you're still playing catch-up. When force fails, switch tactics. Yi Chenxi goes from warrior to seductress in 0 seconds. Flushed cheeks, breathy whispers about their past experiences. She's basically saying, skip the fighting, let's just power level like we used to. Chu Qing's utterly baffled. This woman's battle strategies are as wild as her mood swings. Plot twist incoming. Chenxi straight up whips out a genuine martial arts manual. Here, the real deal you wanted. Chu Qing is understandably suspicious. Is this for real? When a girl like her gives you a legendary text, you know there's a catch. And judging by the romantic tension hanging in the air now, that lesson she promised might be about something way more personal than martial arts. Special thanks to our patrons. Hope you all enjoyed this chapter. Don't forget to join our Discord, the ultimate martial art. Right? Now let's dive back in. Chu Qing, still reeling from an energy-draining ordeal, gets intercepted in the school hallway. The ancient swordsman nearly met his end in a trap. And just when he thought he could catch his breath, Sister Tang wants to see you. Trouble never sleeps. The storm breaks in the extracurricular office. Tang Zian, his past life love, confronts him with cold fury. Where were you last night? And what does Chu Qing do? Casually drops the bomb. I slept with Chenxi. Talk about adding thermite to a flame. Look at that look on her face. Is our swordsman trying for a third death? Negotiations shatter. Tang Zian demands exclusivity, demands a place in his life. But Chu Qing's family won't allow it. When he flips the question back, asking if she expects men and women to be equal, he essentially spits in the face of this entire world's core rule. The hypocrisy is laid bare. Chu Qing lays it all out. He won't conform. He'll be himself. He'll show the world what human means. All he gets is mockery, so he turns his back. It's over. Yet Tang Zian shatters, screaming at him not to stay silent, not to run. This is more than a breakup. It's the violent tearing of a past life bond and Chu Qing's first silent declaration of war on this twisted world's rules. The pink-haired girl's obsession has twisted into a dangerous fervor. She declares to Chu Qing that the title of husband belongs to him and him alone. But her jealousy festers into a murderous impulse toward Chenxi. This, however, is Chu Qing's arena. With the soul of a 300-year-old sword god, he won't let anyone dictate the fate of those he cares for. I won't let you do that, he states, cutting through her madness. Then, the former deity offers a surreal, high-stakes choice, an arm wrestling match. If she wins, she goes free. If she loses, Chenxi loses her hands. Mistaking overconfidence for strength, the girl accepts, completely unaware she's challenging a force far beyond a teenage boy. The contest ignites instantly. The girl with amethyst eyes exudes pure, unshakable pride. A test of raw strength? That's her supposed domain. Across the desk, Chu Qing's answer is a simple, resolute challenge. When their hands lock, the very table seems to groan. She summons every ounce of her power, vowing she'll never lose to him. And Chu Qing's cool reply? You don't need to. Not pity, but absolute supremacy. In the very next moment, the verdict is delivered. A masterclass in domination. With a single, decisive press, Chu Qing slams her entire arm onto the desk. Papers fly, energy erupts, total, instantaneous victory. Damn it. Chu Qing assesses the danger in a heartbeat. Those violet flames aren't for show. Tang Zian's martial kingdom actually surpasses Yi Chenxi's. This changes everything. The stakes of the silly arm wrestle are now horrifyingly literal. Chenxi's hands. A terrifying vision flashes before him. Chenxi on her knees, palms impaled by swords, a pool of blood spreading. The mere thought sends a chill down his spine. The realization hits him with full force. He absolutely cannot afford to lose. This trivial contest has suddenly become a life-and-death struggle. A new cycle, a new maelstrom begins. The sword immortal eating soft rice. In this absurd matriarchal world, Chu Qing is about to bare his fangs. The very title breathes defiance. Now, he's pushed into a true corner, facing Tang Zian, whose power far eclipses his own. I can't lose. This isn't a pep talk, but a roar from the depths of his soul. Unprecedented golden energy erupts around him, colliding head-on with Tang Xian's profound violet power. Two forces clash violently, one to protect a loved one to claim a promise. In this raw, explosive contest, who will be shattered? Bang! All of Chu Qing's pent-up emotions detonate in a single furious strike. Tang Xian is reeling, unable to process what just happened. How's that possible? But Chu Qing doesn't want her shock. He wants her promise. He turns his back, his voice icy steel. Keep your promise. Her gaze shifts from disbelief to terrifying clarity. She lays down her ultimatum. Chu Qing, this time I'll forget you cheated on me. But if I find out you cheated again? Stepping behind him, her tone is as stubborn as fate itself. Don't forget, your girlfriend is me, Tang Xian. Even if we don't marry, I won't get off your back. I'll keep you in my life. Forever. Under the night sky, the crescent moon bears witness. This isn't a goodbye. It's an eternal shackle, now locked firmly around the sword god's neck. Coming home, Chu Qing expected the usual. Instead, he found a golden-haired woman eating dinner in his living room. The bombshell dropped immediately. I'm your fiancé. A fiancé? He just got reincarnated, and now he's getting an arranged marriage? He flat out denied it. But she was prepared. With a calm smile, she produced a marriage contract signed by some Chu Anlin, a name he'd never heard. Trapped by a deal he never made, Chu Qing could only offer his sarcastic best wishes. This forced pairing was off to a disastrous start. Threatening him didn't work, so she went nuclear, aiming straight for his parents. Hearing his father reveal that the contract was signed by their own grandmother, the Chu family matriarch, Chu Qing understood the game. This Gong Yu was playing dirty, using his family as leverage. Threaten him? Think again. In a burst of righteous fury, he ripped the contract to shreds. No piece of paper was going to chain him. Gong Yu remained smug, warning him about consequences, but all Chu Qing heard was the sound of a very persistent pest that needed a serious thrashing. Storming out of the house, Chu Qing thought he'd be rid of her. No such luck. Gong Yu followed, chirping about developing feelings. In the stairwell, her mocking commentary about his low rating for not helping his parents was the last straw. All the pent-up frustration exploded. He lashed out, the force sending her sprawling. I've been wanting to beat the shit out of you for a while, he growled. Dazed and with a blush on her cheek, she stammered, We just met. How can you say that? His response was a cold sneer. Logic? With you. The pre-fight talk was over. Gong Yu dropped the act, revealing her true status as a scion of the mighty Gong family. She demanded gratitude for this honor of marriage. Chu Qing's answer was a kick sharp enough to split air. Her response was terrifyingly casual. With a single hand, she blocked his full force attack and countered with a blow that shattered the illusion. In a brilliant slow-motion panel, Chu Qing's shock was palpable. The force sent him crashing down, his body screaming in pain. One thought blazed in his mind. She's stronger than Tang Xian. Emerging from the energy mist, Gong Yu simply complimented his handsome, angry face. Absolute power meets furious defiance. Chu Qing was pushed into a corner. Trapped in the stairwell, he knew one more direct hit would finish him. Gong Yu hovered above, energy crackling at her fingertips. Then it came, a blast of azure power that tore through the air like thunder. Out of options, Chu Qing dug deep, unleashing a desperate, golden beam of sword energy from his very soul, a vestige of his past life's power. The attack rocketed upwards, finally making that smug expression on Gong Yu's face flicker with surprise. But the gap was too wide. In an instant, she recomposed herself. Standing amidst the shimmering, energy-infused rain, she crossed her arms, a supremely confident smile on her lips. It was the smile of finality. Was this where the Sword King's journey would truly end? Hold up, this ain't your typical story opening. It's more like a wild trailer reel before the main event. Chu Qing's odyssey in this topsy-turvy world is just the tip of the iceberg. Look at these titles. Immortal Swordsman in the Reverse World, Global High Martial Arts. Whoa, the whole shelf is a universe of underdog MCs flipping the script. This lineup practically screams that the chaos Chu Qing is about to unleash is only getting started.